Okay, we're gonna try this again, part two. So, pros and cons to being outside. Pro, it's beautiful. Look at that sunset. It's gorgeous. Con, internet, not so great. That's okay. Whatever. We're just gonna go with it. So, what was I saying? Saying that. So we talked about what an essential oil is. An essential oil is a plant. We're getting back to the basics, right? And so really, it's the most concentrated way to use the plant. You can use them topically, right? So there's a ton of research about how lavender can help affect you when you're sleeping. Um, but really, how you're getting these smells, and you want to make sure that it's a diffuser and not a humidifier or an oil burner. You can get some humidifiers that have essential oil cups on them, um, and even oil burners. You can. Hey, how's it going? Okay, so I think I might end up moving inside. That might be better. We'll see how this goes. So, really think about how the smells, the different smells affect you. When you're peeling an orange, if you've peeled the orange, you have the I see Tara, you're such a smarty pants. So much for our date. I'm sorry. I'm such a crappy date. I keep getting interrupted. Now I'm thrown off. So when you peel an orange and then you have the orange scent on your hands after you peel it, that is the essential oil of the orange, right? And that oil is in there to protect the plant, to make it to make it kind of last against the elements. So that's why you're finding the essential oils, in the rind of the plant, in the bark, in the leaves of the trees. It's kind of surrounding it, because if that orange falls from the tree and gets bruised or scratched, then that essential oil is going to start going to work to start healing the plant, right? So that's what it does to us too. So when we smell them, research actually shows that all of our cells, here we have a lot of them, they actually all have olfactory sensors on them. So when we smell the essential oils, it actually, without getting too technical, will go right up into your brain, work with your amygdala and all that kind of stuff, and really start affecting your body on a scientific level. So again, tons of research shows about how even just through smelling these plants, it can help to lower your blood pressure, just affect all of your vitals, heart rate, temperature, everything you need to kind of to regulate your body. These these plants can help with, right? So that's a really big piece. And then taking internally. So internally is again really getting into your system quick. There's a couple of oils that we'll talk about that I literally take daily. We're gonna move my date. I'm gonna see if I can slowly move back towards my oils without losing my internet. Isn't it so pretty outside though? See, isn't this romantic date? You're welcome. Wonderful. Okay. So when you are taking essential oils internally, it's really important to respect the potency of them. Because again, we mentioned they are the most concentrated way to use a plant. So you want to make sure that if you have a sensitive digestive system, that even you are, diluting them in the capsule when you're using them. So I personally take frankincense and On Guard in a capsule every single day. And we'll talk about frankincense and On Guard more. I take frankincense. I have a lot of cancer in my family, so again, we're thinking prevention, right? And so I take a drop of frankincense in a capsule every single morning. And I also have toddlers, so need my immune system boosted. Again, we'll talk a little bit more about On Guard, but I take On Guard with the frankincense again every single day in a capsule. Now I take them in a capsule because my taste buds are really strong and these oils are really strong. And I honestly, outside of, drinking lemon in my water, I talked about drinking peppermint in my water. I can't really stand the taste of them. They're really potent, and I will gag. So I don't want to have to do that, every time I want to take my frankincense in the morning. So, there's veggie capsules. You can get them through doTERRA. I've also seen them in the health food store. But that's the things that you need to support your essential oil usage. Grab them up wherever, right? The nice part about the ones from doTERRA is they're vegetable based. They don't have, gelatin or anything like that in them. So when they dissolve, it's still good for a healthy gut and all that kind of stuff. So that's important. So those are the 3 ways to use them. And Tara says, and make sure it's actually therapeutic grade. If it's not doTERRA. So this is the thing. Thank you for mentioning that, Tara. Tara and I were just talking about this today, only because labeling laws are, this is the thing. I already kind of covered that. Being in the complicated world that we live in now, there's kind of a workaround for everything, and labeling laws aren't what they should be. Even McDonald's 100% pure Canadian beef. Guess what, guys? Not beef at all. Sorry. But that's the thing, because the company they get it from is called 100% pure Canadian beef. They can call it that, right? So it's the same world with essential oils, unfortunately. So because there's no governing body over the essential oil world, only 10% of that bottle actually has to be 100% pure essential oil, even if it says 100% pure essential oil on the bottle. I know. So that's kind of crummy, but now you're an informed consumer, right? So I personally, this is what drove me to doTERRA. What keeps me at doTERRA is just the quality. There's a lot of different things to make sure that you are getting the most potent essential oil. The first thing is making sure that you're getting the plants from where the plants originate. Like for example, I have lavender growing in my backyard. Can you see it? How pretty is that lavender? Gorgeous, right? Very few therapeutic benefits in that lavender. It smells beautiful. Let's look at the lavender while I'm kind of talking about it. Very, very few therapeutic benefits, because I live in Chatham, Kent. Chatham, Kent is not the hub of lavender-esque, and we don't have the right climate right now to grow it. But when it comes to having the right soil, the right climate, farmers that know how to grow the lavender, and how to harvest it, and don't even ask me how to extract an essential oil out of that lavender that's growing in my backyard, because I can't help you. I actually don't know. So that's the important piece, right? So doTERRA has lavender farmers in France, because that's where lavender grows best. That's where lavender originates. And so they have farmers all over the world that are growing these plants, right? And the nice part about it, and what, again, my why is changing a little bit, I love how that impacts on a global scale, because probably about 60% of the places that doTERRA gets their essential oils from they're third world countries. They're not living like we live in North America, but they have incredible resources, right? So what doTERRA does is they make sure that they go in, and the farmers that are growing these plants for them, they make sure they have things like basic needs: water, food, healthcare, schools. They make sure that the people, working are working in good circumstances, right? And it can be so simple as, some countries that, don't have a huge appreciation for women, and maybe women that, are forced to just work all day and if they don't get any breaks, a break is a break. And I think many of my fellow healthcare workers would say there's many times where we don't get breaks either. But we still live in a place where if we have to slip to the bathroom, we can do that, right? There's places where this isn't happening. And so they just make sure that it's beyond fair trade. It's beyond organic. It's beyond, the quality is unbelievable. And if I'm putting something into my body, it's kind of a no-brainer for me, right? If I'm making the investment, period, I want to make sure that that I'm putting something into my system that is going to support my body, right? Rather than kind of work against it. So that's an important piece. And so when you see on a label, do not take internally, keep out of reach of children. If you see frankincense for like $13, this is your first indication that it is not pure frankincense, because the thing is that everything's priced, everything's kind of labeled based on where the plant comes from and how hard it is to harvest and all that kind of stuff, right? So it's important. So Livia's saying, I want some veggie capsules. I can't kick getting a cold every 3 to 4 weeks. Ugh, I hear ya. That would not be great. Veggie capsules are key, Liv. Just honestly thinking prevention. Like if you have a really weak immune system, some people they just take On Guard during cold and flu season. But honestly, I'm a 365 kind of gal myself, just because I don't want to get sick. And it doesn't mean that I don't get run down. If there's times when, my kids feel like being up all night partying, like if I haven't slept adequately, or if I've eaten something that doesn't agree with me, my body can get run down pretty quickly, but it doesn't last for very long. And that's the thing, all the stuff that my body needs in order to function, I'm also I'm using the oils for that too. So like I have a diffuser in my bedroom, and it is diffusing lavender every single night. So that's going to help me get a better rest, which then is going to set me up for success the next day, right? So you can get your veggie capsules. You can order them when you put through your order. I think you get 160 capsules for like $5 or something like that. It's not. It's well worth the money to not have to take them internally without them. Same like oregano, amazing benefits. And we're going to talk a bit about those right now. But they're pretty gross. But look at the health food store too if you need them like right now. So let's talk what I feel like are my top 10 oils. So the first one is lemon. So lemon is, I'm going to kind of turn here. Lemon is one of those oils that I couldn't live without. I drink it in my water every single day. It's a cleanser, right? It cleanses my system. It's how I kickstart my metabolism every single morning. It cleans my body, but it cleans my house. My cleaning products are literally water, vinegar, lemon. That is it. And how cheap is that? And a bottle of lemon's like $10. Not an expensive oil, because lemon's not hard to come by, and there's a ton of essential oil in the rind of the lemon. And drinking lemons in your water, like squeezing a lemon, tons of therapeutic benefits. However, not great for your teeth, because when you squeeze the juice of the lemon in your water, you're getting the citric acid, which can eat away at the enamel of your teeth. So I know my dentist called me out on it like immediately. So pay attention to that. So I just switched to drinking a big thing of water, take my lemon oil, I put a drop in, and I just drink it throughout the day. It tastes so refreshing, and it again just keeps my metabolism going, and just keeps cleansing my system, right? Setting it up for success. So lemon is a key one. The next one is lavender. Lavender is, again, I've talked about it quite a bit, a little bit. It's awesome to help you with rest, but this time of year, it's also a game changer in our house for anything skin. So we've had a lot of questions recently about, skin irritations, eczema, psoriasis, bug bites, bee stings, sunburns, anything that can kind of affect your skin. And this is the thing, we're in a time right now where there are just a ton of chemicals that we're surrounded by, right? People are spraying their lawns. I'm trying to like not get the sun, but get the sun. You know what I mean? Sorry. People are spraying their lawns. We're putting bug sprays and sunscreens, and I know my youngest daughter has really bad eczema. She's had it since she was a baby, and I keep telling everyone, if you can, I can give you lavender till I'm blue in the face, but the game changer that you will find is, again, paying attention to what you're consuming. If you can cut out dairy, gluten, those are going to be huge game changers. If you can pay attention to what chemicals you're putting on your body. So I got rid of her bubble baths, her lotions, the Johnson & Johnson lavender sleepy time lotion that I was using on her, that's gone. And then I made my own cream for her. So it had a shea butter and coconut oil base. And then I also added in it lavender to help soothe the skin, tea tree oil to help with any bacteria or infection, because there was so many spots on her skin that were broken open, and then frankincense, which helps with inflammation. So I was using those as well, and then I was putting that on her every night, and then that got her skin probably about 75% better. The next game changer was making my own laundry detergent. I literally had to look at what is touching this girl's skin all the time, and it was her clothes. And what did I wash her clothes in? So I got rid of, and I was buying this like crazy expensive, all natural baby laundry detergent that I didn't waste. I just washed my clothes in it till I got rid of it because I don't like to waste. So I used that, and then got rid of my bounce sheets, and I used wool dryer balls. So you can get wool dryer balls pretty much anywhere. I saw them at Canadian Tire actually, but you can buy them anywhere. I actually I got mine years ago on Amazon, and whenever I am running anything through the dryer, I just put lavender, a few drops of lavender right on the dryer balls. And so when, our towels and everything are being washed, it's just our sheets. It's just another way for us to experience the lavender. And then really just, again, helping our skin, right? Getting rid of those toxins. So making your laundry detergent, game changer. But lavender is something that, someone gets a bug bite, lavender takes away the itch, it takes away the sting, and that's the thing, bugs hate essential oils. Do I love lavender? Yeah, Tara, it's one of my faves. And honestly, bugs hate essential oils because it throws off their sensors, right? They are, again, in the plants to protect them. So they protect them not against just like cuts and scrapes like I talked about, but it also protects them against herbivores, insects, and you'll notice that there's bugs that will gravitate to certain plants, and then they will stay the heck away from other plants, right? So lavender's a key one, definitely one you want to have in your toolkit. Peppermint's another one. So peppermint, common uses for that one for me, definitely headaches. It's my husband's go-to headache remedy. He actually has a peppermint rollerball in his lunch pail for work. And it's kind of a double whammy because he works shift work. So with peppermint, it can help get rid of headaches, but it can also help to give you energy, right? So when he's working midnights and he needs a little boost at 2 a.m., because we are not nighthawks by any stretch of the imagination, the peppermint is just kind of works for him for that way too. It really just uplifts you. So that's one of the ways we always use it. Another way is just fevers. Anytime we need to be cooled down, I have family members, not naming names, that might be going through the change in life and are a little sweaty. Mix some peppermint with some cold water, and you have yourself kind of a cooler downer. And then, but I use it on my kids when, if anybody wakes up with a fever, peppermint down their spine, on the bottom of their feet, just really, getting it through their system. And I've had so many times over the last, 5 years that I've physically watched it bring down a fever. And it's super cool when that happens. It's a cool mom moment when you know that their little kidneys didn't have to process something, right? And again, it's not that I don't have children's Advil or whatever in my house. I do, but it's not my first line of defense. It's not. Someone wakes up with a fever, I'm bringing out the peppermint. And someone like even Allie with teething, I went through teething and she probably had Advil a handful of times, which is not the case with Izzy, because I wasn't really using my oils yet. I was kind of like I was dabbling in them, was still testing to see if I actually believed in them. But yeah, Allie was my oil baby. I used them my entire pregnancy and just anything that came up with her. She's been oiled up many a time. Another one that I love is tea tree. So tea tree is, I mentioned that it's in the eczema cream, but anytime you have an associated infection, that is when you are going to want tea tree. So if you get chronic, ear infections or bladder infections or pink eye or eczema, it just really helps to kind of to cut it. I know if your kids are my, same age are my kids, tea tree is a big one that people jump on board with, especially at the beginning of the school year, because for head lice, right? So head lice, we all hate getting that note home saying that head lice is floating around. I honestly, again, thinking prevention, I have a bottle of tea tree in our bathroom. I put a drop in when I wash their hair. I'm so itchy just thinking about it. Oh, so gross. I know. See, how romantic is this date? I'm talking about bugs the whole time. But don't worry, we're about to talk about poop as well. Right? So romantic. But don't worry, I brought the sunset. Poop and sunset. There you go, Tara. I'm getting romantic with you. So when you never want to put, I mentioned, if you have an ear infection or pink eye or anything, you never want to put an essential oil in your eye, in your ear, anywhere where your mucous membranes are. Don't do it. But if you put them on the bottom of your feet, they will go systemic within 20 minutes. So putting them over the area. So if you have bladder infections, putting them over your bladder. If you've done reflexology, where you can actually associate different parts of your feet or your hands with parts of your body, put the essential oil there and stimulate those areas and start going to work that way. Another one that I love, so we talked about lemon, lavender, peppermint, oregano. Oregano is a great one. Again, really high in antioxidants. If it is cold and flu season, oregano, I probably still have the same bottle for like 4 years. And that's the nice thing. When you are dealing with pure essential oils, they don't expire, right? So you keep them, and as long as they're housed properly, then you can, just keep the lids on tight. They are aromatic compounds. You're not going to keep them in your car, in your windowsill. Keep them kind of in a, cool, dry place. And that, you know, will be your best bet. Now I want to talk about Frank. Me and Frank. Sorry, I know I'm on a date with you guys, but me and Frank, we got a thing going on. I talked about how I put frankincense in a capsule every single morning and take internally. Um, there's a ton of research. Just even Google frankincense. And I don't even need to I know I posted about it today too. And frankincense is an expensive oil, but it literally is so hard to harvest. The farmers have to, it literally grows on the cliffs of like Somalia. So these really deserted areas where the farmers have to scale the side of the cliff, scratch the bark of the tree, go back 8 months later, chip the resin off, and then extract the essential oils out of the resin, right? So it's really hard to kind of get a hold of. But tons of research when it comes to anti-cancer, and it has a lot of therapeutic benefits if you are suffering from anything on a cellular level. Just really, it can really just kind of, you know, get in and start going to work that way. Now, some of the blends. On Guard, I've mentioned multiple times. It's, again, one of my faves. It's up there with lavender. It's there to help boost your immune system. Again, really high in antioxidants. I take it with frankincense internally every single day. And that's the thing. You can take them for one reason and completely get therapeutic benefits in another area. So even with frankincense, it is amazing for inflammation. So like my mom swears by it for her arthritis, just applying it topically to the area. But I notice when I take frankincense for its anti-cancer properties that I actually have very little inflammation in my body too, right? So I feel better from taking it that way too. And that's, I mean, not the reason I'm taking it, but it's kind of just an added bonus to taking it. But On Guard, again, applying it to the bottom of your feet, diffusing it. It is in our diffusers. We have 5 diffusers in our house, and it is going 24/7 just to help boost their immune systems. My diffuser blend when all of us go to bed: lavender, On Guard, and actually Easy Air, which I'll talk about next. Easy Air is just that. It helps you to breathe. It's like Vicks Vapor Rub on steroids. It's awesome. It has peppermint in it, and eucalyptus, and literally when you breathe it in, so sometimes I just sniff the bottle. I'm a cap sniffer, and I will completely, if you are congested, it is a game changer. If you sleep with a snorer, which I do, I talked about shift work. Shift work does not agree with my husband. So when he is working shift work, he when he's coming off his midnight shifts, he's a snorer. So I make sure that I have extra Easy Air in the diffuser that night, and I'll even apply it topically to the bottom of his feet. He knows what I'm doing now. He's on to me. But that's the thing. If you're not getting a good night's sleep, that means it impacts your whole next day, right? So whatever you can do to kind of reduce the impacts there. But it helped us huge this past winter. I had such chronic asthma growing up, and I started outgrowing it as I got older. But I remember when that very first winter that I had Isabella and bringing her to the doctor, and he gave her puffers. And who here has tried to give a 1-year-old puffers? Fun times. So glad that we don't have to do that anymore. We're just easy airing it up. And again, just one of those ones that you want to have in your toolkit, because if you are congested or can't breathe, can't be having that. That's ridiculous. Another one that I'm absolutely in love with is Zengest. So not necessarily for myself. Digestively, I'm okay. But here's again, guys, we're about to talk poop. My youngest daughter's not a pooper. She literally went like the first 8 weeks of her life, and I think she pooped like 5 times. It was ridiculous. And she was living off me, and I was living off bread and water, and she still wasn't pooping. So this is when I had used Zengest my entire pregnancy with her for heartburn and indigestion, acid reflux. So I took that and I made a roller ball. Really easy way to use it on kids is to make a roller ball. And I put literally an eighth of the bottle with essential oil and the rest with fractionated coconut oil. So I really liked that because it was easy and I knew it was diluted. And look back on the post because I posted dilution rates. So if you want to use them on your kids, or if you have sensitive skin, at the end of the day, if you're using essential oils for the first time, I always recommend starting with using a diluted version of it. But that's a super easy way to do it. But I just roll it on the bottom of her feet. Sometimes I put it on her belly, and works like a charm. We literally called it the diaper filler when she was a baby. I have friends on the other end of the spectrum that have like IBS like symptoms, and again can use it regularly and to help prevent flare-ups. I have a friend that literally takes it internally after every single meal, and she swears by it. Zengest is her love language, so to speak. So I think I've talked about all of probably my top 10 faves. Another one that I absolutely love right now is TerraShield. So TerraShield is the repellent blend. And again, I have it diffusing right now to keep the bugs away. But it feels really nice to be able to send my kids out and not have to spray them with DEET, right? Because that's the thing. We know the harms in, our bugs are carrying stuff now that they never carried before. This is, again, part of our world getting a little too complicated. Our bugs are carrying things that they never had before, and our sun is not the sun that it was 50 years ago, right? So we have to protect ourselves from bugs and from sun, but the stuff we're protecting ourselves with can be just as harmful as what we're trying to protect against, right? So I love being able to just make my own stuff, and it works really well. I'll walk you, sorry Livia, I'm just noticing your thing. I'll walk you through getting them. Type in veggie capsules and you'll be able to get them. You might have to try the US warehouse. But really just, taking control of what you're consuming, right? So for sure, TerraShield's one of my favorites right now. And another one that I love, because it's my husband's love language, is Deep Blue. Deep Blue is for sore muscles, aches, and pains. Dave literally uses it as like lotion when he gets out of the shower every day, just because he it smells really good, but he says it just makes him like de-stress even, and just be, he can go and have a good stretch and do all that kind of stuff too, right? But again, if you're having sore muscles, aches, and pains, it's important to not eat foods that are like inflammation foods. That's important too. So those are definitely my top oils. If you're watching this, talk to whoever invited you to this page to talk to you about how to get started. But at the end of the day, just own it and get started, right? Really look at how you can reduce your toxic load so that you can just go out there and live your life and not have to worry about the crap that you're putting on your body. At the end, there's no sugarcoating it. I'm not known for sugarcoating things. Shocking. Anybody that really knows me, I don't sugarcoat very well. For me, it started with, I just wanted to make over my medicine cabinet. I wanted to get rid of the toxins that I was putting in my body, and I wanted to really just get past making pharmaceuticals my first line of defense. And maybe it was, there's pros and cons to working in healthcare, right? You see all the benefits. I mean, there's benefits. Absolutely. We are doing awesome things. My daughter has type 1 diabetes. She would not be here without insulin. My mom had a lung transplant last year. She would not be here without the brilliant people that, you know, were able to do those sorts of things, right? So there's definitely a space for Western medicine, but really just not necessarily when it comes to the big things. But I mean, we can't rely on penicillin like we do, right? You go into some hospitals and it's C. diff, MRSA, VRE. These are all superbugs that we are creating from using penicillin too much, right? Google it. And that's the thing, right? I was noticing that that's the path that I was headed on, and that wasn't the path that I wanted my kids on. And it's not that my kids haven't been on penicillin, but I can tell you they've been on penicillin a lot less than I ever was as a kid and as an adult. And just really, I moved into the DIY world a little late. I couldn't wrap my head around, I just thought hippies made their own stuff. Tara, you're probably going to laugh at that one too. I didn't think, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be making my own stuff. But then Allie was born and her poor skin was horrible. And so I made my own laundry detergent. I made my own lotion for her. And when I saw how easy it was like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous, right? And I know I posted about this a couple times, but literally when I look at what I was spending before on, and it would be just little things here and there on my grocery bill, right? A cleaning product here, laundry detergent there, pharmaceuticals here, and just little things, right? But when it all added up, I was spending probably $100 a month easily on these sorts of things. Whereas now I don't. I literally spend $13 a year on laundry detergent, right? How awesome is that? So it's been a huge cost savings as well. And it's liberating. It's so awesome when, we're getting ready to go outside and I don't have to go, crap, I don't have any bug spray. I just go and make some. Or my kids wake me up at 5 a.m. and that's when I feel like I want to do laundry. I don't go, I'm out of laundry detergent. I just make some. Anytime something, I run out of something in my house, that is where I really started to change things, right? So as I would run out of things, instead of adding it to my grocery list, I would add it to my DIY list. And that was cool, right? Like that was, you can find stuff on Pinterest. The doTERRA blog's awesome. I know I've posted a lot on here too. But I challenge you, just try one thing a week. One thing. That's it. If you have tons of stuff in your house, it still took me with doing one thing a week, 2 things a week, still took me almost a year to get rid of all of the toxins in my house. But I can honestly say now, 97% of the things that are in my house, I know exactly what's in them. Exactly. And that is awesome, right? I want to know that I gave my best effort, and I feel better. I feel liberated. I feel like a smart consumer, but I feel better because my body isn't just surrounded by all of this garbage all the time, right? So I challenge you, just one thing a week. Even if you have to write down what do you put on or in your system in a week, write it down. Those are going to be your quick wins. Deodorant was another thing. I just posted about making it last week, but that was one of the first things I made. My mom's had breast cancer, and the link between breast cancer and deodorant is huge, right? So look at all those things that you're daily putting on your skin. Your hand soap could be another quick win. A part of prevention is washing your hands. I feel like I'm working at the hospital again. Wash your hands, people, right? So when you're washing your hands constantly, you're putting those toxins on your skin, right? So just look at where you can get some quick wins and see just how you can really just start working these into your life. And I promise you, you won't regret it. But if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Message me anytime. Post on this page. But I so look forward to having you guys on this journey, and we're in this together, right? We're lifers. I know this is the first date, maybe for some of you, and I just said we're going to be together forever, but we're going to be together forever because this is a journey, right? It's not a one-time thing. So thank you guys for listening to me. Sorry, my internet was kind of wonky, but it's beautiful. Look, oh, the sun's like almost down now. Can't really see it. Oh, how gorgeous is this? Okay, awesome. Have a good night, guys.